Hi, good morning. Today we are going to discuss the time of supply. The time of supply is different from time to issue invoice. You should keep in mind that there is a difference between the time of supply and the time to issue invoice. Suppose today I have completed the audit work, that means my time of supply is today. But what is the time limit to issue invoice? That is 30 days from the date of supply of services. That means I can issue invoice today plus 30 days, but time of supply is today. There is a difference between the time of supply, time to issue invoice. You should keep in mind the difference between, because once the time of supply completed, the liability of GST shall arise today only. Time to issue invoice is different, but time of supply is the point when the liability to pay tax shall be arise. Then one more important point is, what are the provisions and rules applicable under the time of supply? Under CGST Act, the same rules and provisions are applicable to the IGSTLs. That means what are the provisions and what are the rules of time of supply applicable under the CGST? The same rules and provisions are also applicable to the IGST Act also. Then what are the points we are going to discuss? What are the concepts we are going to discuss in this chapter is, first is determination of time of supply on supply of goods or services under reverse charge. If I am supplying goods or services that are liable to pay tax under forward charge, what is the time of supply? That I am second concept. I am supplying goods or services that are liable to pay tax under reverse charge. What is the time of supply? That are we are going to discuss now. And what is the time of supply in case of vouchers? What vouchers also we are discussing right now. And what is the time of supply on supply of goods or services in residual cases? In residual cases means it is not possible to determine the time of supply in any of the methods, and how to determine the time of supply. That also we are going to discuss. And in case of enhancement of value of supply, that means I am supplying one laptop to the X company, and I have issued invoice. In that invoice I have mentioned the payment shall be made within 1 month from the date of invoice. If you are not paying within 1 month, a late fee of 100 rupees will be charged. A penalty of 1% per 1% as interest per month it will be charged. This is enhancement of value. So when what is the time of supply for such enhancement also, for such enhancement value? That is also we are going to discuss right now. In this first concept is section 12. Section 12 means supply of goods. Section 12 of the CGST, time of supply of goods, determination of time of supply in case of supply of goods. I am supplying goods. What is the time of supply? I am supplying goods under reverse charge, under forward charge. Then what is the supply? What is the time of supply in such cases? Then one by one we are going to discuss. First, in case of forward charge, time of supply shall be the earliest of the following. In case of supply of goods under forward charge, the time of supply is date of issue of invoice by the supplier, or last date on which the invoice ought to have been issued in terms of section 31, to the extent of the invoice covers the supply of goods. That means due date of invoice. In case of supply of goods under forward charge, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice or due date of invoice, whichever is earlier. But important point, the date of payment is not relevant. Payment is not relevant. Only invoice is relevant. Date of invoice or due date of invoice, whichever is earlier only, the time of supply shall be applicable. Understand? And one more point, it is not required to pay amount of tax on advance received relating to supply of goods. If I received any advance towards supply of goods, on such advance I am not liable to pay any tax. Only supplies made, then only my liability will arise. On any advance received on supply of goods, I am not liable to pay any tax. In case of composition taxable person, the time of supply shall be the date of receipt of payment. In case of supply of goods under forward charge, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice or due date of invoice. But in case of composition taxable person, the time of supply shall be the date of receipt of payment. Understand? Okay. Yeah. Then second concept is supply of goods under reverse charge. Previously we had discussed supply of goods under forward charge. Now supply of goods under reverse charge, what is the time of supply? In case of supply of goods under reverse charge, the time of supply shall be the earliest of the following. What is that one? The date of receipt of goods, date of payment as entered in the books of accounts of the recipient, date on which the payment is debited in his bank account, whichever is earlier, or 31st day from the date of invoice. Just a minute please. I can repeat. Then, sorry, in case of supply of goods which is taxable on reverse charge, in such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of receipt of goods, date of payment as entered in the books of accounts of the recipient, date on which the payment is credited in the recipient bank account, or 31st day from the date of invoice, whichever is earlier. Okay. In case of supply of goods under forward charge, the time of supply shall be the date of payment and due date of payment. In case of supply goods under reverse charge, the date of receipt of goods, date of payment is entered in the recipient bank account, date on which the payment is debited in the recipient bank account, or 31st day from the date of invoice, whichever is earlier. Then, where it is not possible to determine the time of supply in respect of supplies under reverse charge, then the time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient. That means if it is not possible to determine the time of supply under reverse charge, we have some 4 methods. In these 4 methods also we are not determining the time of supply. Then in such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of such supplies. Time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of such supplies. Okay. Next important concept, it is not required to pay amount of tax on advance received relating to supply of goods. If any amount is received as advance towards supply of goods, it is not taxable. For services, it is taxable. Any advance received towards supply of goods, it is not taxable. It shall be taxable once the actual supply is made. Understand? Okay. Next, in case of vouchers, first I have discussed one example, then only we'll discuss the concept. Suppose in Big Bazaar, I go to Big Bazaar, I purchased a voucher of 5,000 rupees. I have given that 5,000 voucher to my friend marriage. Then my friend has go to Big Bazaar and purchased some articles. That means he has purchased ACs. He can purchase ACs, or he can purchase plastic items, he can purchase provisional items, or he can purchase TVs, or he can purchase glass, anything. The product is not identifiable. Na? At the time of when I purchase the voucher, the product is not identifiable from Big Bazaar. In such a case, the time of supply in case of vouchers, if the product is not identifiable, then the time of supply shall be the time of redemption of voucher. Understand? When the product is not identifiable at the time of issue of voucher, you can purchase anything. The product is not identifiable. In such a case, the time of supply of voucher shall be the date of issue, date of redemption of voucher. And say one more example also I am giving you. I go to gold shop. I purchased 50,000 voucher from the gold shop, and I have given the voucher to my friend's marriage. In such a case, my friend, what he is purchasing? He is purchasing only gold. That means the product is identifiable. If the product is identifiable, the time of supply shall be the time of supply of voucher shall be the time of issue of vouchers. Date of issue of voucher means the product. What is the product? The product is gold. So in such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of issue of vouchers. If the product is not identifiable, the time of supply shall be the date of redemption of voucher. Understand? I can read for better understanding now. Vouchers. The time of supply shall be date of issue of voucher if the supply that it covers is identifiable at that point, or the date of redemption of voucher in any other case. If the product is identifiable, time of supply shall be date of issue. If the product is not identifiable, the time of supply shall be the date of redemption of voucher. Okay. Then afterwards, interest, penalty, late fees. The time of supply shall be the actual date of payment. That means I have supplied laptop to XYZ Limited company. Then in the invoice I have mentioned the payment shall be received within 1 month. If the payment is not received within 1 month, a late fee of 100 rupees will be charged per day, or an interest of 1% shall be charged per month, or part thereof. Like that I mentioned in the invoice, and the recipient has paid the interest or along with the total payment, and the recipient has paid the penalty along with my total payment. In such a case, the time of supply for such interest or penalty shall be the actual date of payment. Suppose if I supply laptop for 50,000, he has paid 50,000 after 1 month, then the time of supply shall be the date of issue of invoice. 1 month back I have issued invoice, therefore time of supply shall be the 1 month. But in case of interest or penalty or late fees, when I receive payment after 1 month only I received payment, therefore time of supply for such interest, for such penalty, for such late fee shall be the after 1 month only, that is actual date of payment. Understand? Then residual cases 5. It is not possible to determine the time of supply, then the time of supply shall be the due date of filing of the periodical return. In any other case, date on which the GST is paid. But in this we have discussed so many methods. It is not possible to determine the time of supply. If it is not possible to determine the time of supply shall be the due date of filing the periodical return. Suppose 20th of the next month is periodical return due date, therefore time of supply shall be the 20th of the next month. If I'm not liable to file the return also, then what is the time of supply? In such cases, time of supply shall be the date on which the GST is paid. That is only it is mentioned here. Due date of filing the annual return, or in any other case, date on which GST is paid. Understand? Okay. Next, in case of petty payments means up to 1,000 rupees. It is treated as petty payment. First I can read, then I can discuss. In case of petty payments of up to 1,000 received in excess of value of the goods invoiced, the supplier can choose to take the date of invoice issued with respect to such excess payment as the time of supply such goods for such excess value. That means if I am supplying 10 oil packets, I am supplying 9 oil packets to Paradise Hotel, and next month some more 8 oil packets I am supplying. Today I am supplying 9 oil packets, and each oil packet is 1,100 rupees. 9 into 1,000, 9,000 I had to receive from the Paradise, but I received 10,000 rupees, means 1,000 excess I have received. In such a case, what is the time of supply? But I have supplied only 9,000 value, but he has paid 10,000. How much amount I need to pay on GST? I need to pay GST only 9,000. Even excess of 1,000, that is petty payment. Up to 1,000 excess amount received, that shall be adjusted against my next month supplies. Against next supplies I can adjust. That is the only he has mentioned here. Up to 1,000 rupees excess amount received in excess of the invoice. In such a case, the excess amount shall be adjusted against a future supplies. The time of supply shall be the next invoice only. Understand? Okay. Then meaning of the date of receipt of payment. What is the date of receipt of payment? Date of receipt of payment means date of payment is entered in the books of account of the supplier, date on which the amount has been credited in the supplier's bank account. Understand? First he has received such amount. Suppose today he has received, today is 5th, today is received, but the check is deposited after 10th. It has been cleared on 15th. So what is the due date of payment? 5th or 15th? 5th only. Suppose today I have received, I have deposited after 4 days, and the check has been cleared after 4 days only. But what is the actual date of receipt? I have received today only, today. And some more example. Thus, I have supplied goods to recipient. Recipient has directly deposited the amount in my bank account today. But I have entered in the books of account after 1 week. In such a case, date of entry in the books of account. Date of amount credited in the bank account, whichever is earlier. That means date of receipt means date of payment is entered in the books of accounts of the supplier, date on which the amount has been credited in the supplier's bank account, whichever is earlier. Understand? Okay. Next, section 12 must read with the section 21. Section 21 is time to issue tax invoice, which prescribe the in detail the date on which the tax invoice for the supply of goods must be issued in various situations. That is, section 12 is time of supply. Section 31 is time to issue tax invoice. These two are different, but you should read both at a time, that for better understanding. Because what is the time limit, what is the time of supply in case of supply of goods under forward charge? Time of issues, date of invoice or due date of invoice. Due date means time to issue invoice only, na? So for that you have to read 31 also along with section 12. Then time limit to issue invoice for supply of goods. I am not put much attention on time to issue tax invoice. Why? Because yesterday in yesterday's discussion, that is tax invoice, debit notes and credit notes, we have already discussed the supply of goods, time limit to issue invoice, we have already discussed. Therefore, I have not given much attention on this concept. Just for reading, I am reading, but I am not putting much attention. Where what is the time limit to issue invoice for supply of goods? Where supply involves movement of goods, invoice shall be issued before or at the time of removal of goods. Where supply does not involve movement of goods, invoice shall be issued before or at the time of delivery of goods or making available thereof to the recipient. Where the goods sold on approval or return basis, invoice shall be issued before or at the time of acceptance of such supply or 6 months from the date of removal, whichever is earlier. And in case of continuation of supply, where successive statements of accounts or successive payments are involved, invoice shall be issued before or at the time of each such successive statements issued or such payments is received. Okay, so go to the problems. First problem: A Limited enters into an agreement with B Limited to supply 100 kg of raw material. However, A Limited supplies only 80 kg of raw material and issues the invoice for the same. Here the supply would be deemed to have been made in respect of 80 kg of raw material, that is to the extent covered by the invoice. Therefore, the provisions relating to the time of supply will also be applicable to supply of 80 kg of raw material, not for the entire 100 kg of raw material. That means I have an agreement with another person to supply 100 kg of raw material, but I have supplied only 80 kg of raw material. And I have issued invoice for 80 kgs only. In such a case, what is the time of supply? Time of supply is only for 80 kgs. I am not supplying 100 kgs. Why I have to issue invoice? Once I issue invoice, I have to pay tax. That's why I have supplied 80 kgs. Only my time of supply shall be only for 80 kgs only. Understand? Okay, next one. Next example, second example: a machine has to be supplied at site. Okay, it is done by sourcing various components from vendors and assembling the machine at site. Okay, the details of various events are: 17th September, purchase order with advance of 50,000 is received for the machine worth 12 lakhs. And entry duly made in the seller's books account. That means we have received 50,000 advance on 17th, and the invoice the value of machine is 12 lakhs. And October 20th October, the machine is assembled, tested at site and accepted by the buyer. The machine is installed at site and accepted by the buyer on 20th October. 23rd October, invoice raised. 4th November, the balance payment of 11,50,000 received. Determine the time of supply in the above scenario for the purpose of payment of tax. Here it is a case of supply of goods on forward charge. What is the time of supply in case of supply of goods under forward charge? Date of invoice or due date of invoice, whichever is earlier. What is the date of invoice here? 23rd October, invoice raised. That means date of invoice is 23rd October. What is the due date of invoice? Due date of invoice means on 20th October, the machine is assembled, tested and accepted. The machine assembling completed, testing completed, and also it is accepted by the buyer. That means the machine is supplied, accepted by the buyer. That is the due date of invoice. Understand? So therefore, invoice shall be issued on 20th. Therefore, due date of invoice is 20th. Date of invoice is 23rd October. Whichever is earlier, 20th October is earlier. Therefore, time of supply is 20th October. I can read the answer for better understanding. The time of supply shall be the date of invoice or the last date on which the invoice ought to have been issued, that is due date of invoice, whichever is earlier. Therefore, time of supply is date of invoice is 23rd October. Machine is assembled and accepted by the buyer is 20th October. Therefore, the due date of invoice is 20th October. Therefore, time of supply shall be 20th October. Okay, next example. Gas is supplied by pipeline. That means gas is supplied through pipeline. Monthly payments are to be made by the recipient as per the contract. Every quarter, invoice is to be issued by the supplier supported by a statement of the goods dispatched and the payments are made. Okay. And the recipient has to pay differential amount if any. The details of the various events are as follows. August 5th, September 5th, October 6th. Payments of 2 lakhs made in each case. October 3rd, statements of accounts issued by the supplier with the invoice for quarter July to September. October 17th, differential payment of 56,000 is received by the supplier for the quarter July to September as per the statement of accounts. Determine the time of supply for the purpose of payment tax. Here, it is a continuous supply of service. And what is the due date to issue invoice in case of continuous supply of service? In case of continuous supply service, where the due date is ascertainable from the contract, then therefore a invoice shall be issued. Where the in case of continuous supply service, where the successive statement of accounts or successive payments are involved, then time of supply shall be the each such time to issue invoices, each such successive statements or each such payment is received. I can repeat again. In case of continuous supply service, where successive payments or successive statements of account is issued, therefore date of the time limit to issue invoices on or before such successive statements are issued or such a payment is received. In such a case, payment is received 2 lakhs. Therefore, due date of invoice is August 5th, September 5th, October 6th, because the successive payments are received on successive payment of 2 lakhs made in each month. Therefore, for 2 lakhs, August 5th, September 5th, October 5th. The balance 56,000, what is the due date of invoice? The due date of invoice is each such successive statement or each such payment is received. Successive statement of accounts is issued by the supplier on October 3rd. Therefore, for 56,000, the time of supply shall be the 3rd October. For 2 lakhs, the time of supply shall be August 5th, September 5th, October 6th. I can read the answer right now. In case of continuous supply of goods, where successive statement of accounts or successive payments are involved, the invoice is issued before or at the time of each such statement is issued, or as the case may be, each such payment is received. Therefore, invoice should be issued on August 5th, September 5th and October 5th, when the monthly payment of 2 lakhs are received. Thus, the time of supply for the purpose of payment of tax will be August 5th, September 5th and October 5th respectively, for goods valued at 2 lakhs. For the goods valued 56,000, the time of supply shall be for the purpose of payment of tax will be 3rd October, that is date of issuance of invoice. That means in case of continuous supply of goods, the time of supply shall be when each such successive statements or each such payments, successive statement of account or successive payments received. How much amount we have received? 2 lakhs received in August 5th, September 5th, October 5th. Therefore, time of supply shall be the August 5th, September 5th, October 5th. For balance 56,000, the time of supply shall be the date on which the successive statements are issued. Date on which the successive statements are issued, that is October 3rd. Therefore, for balance 56,000, the time of supply shall be the October 3rd. One more example. Determine the time of supply from the following given information. May 4. Supplier invoices the goods taxable on reverse charge basis to Bridge and Company. 30 days from the date of issuance of invoice elapse on June 3rd. Bridge & Company received the goods on May 12th and on May 30, Bridge & Company makes the payment. It is a case of supply of goods on reverse charge. In such a case, what is the time of supply? Time of supply shall be the date of receipt of goods, date of payment is entered in the books of accounts of the recipient, date on which the payment has been debited in the recipient bank account, or 31st day from the date of invoice. First, date of receipt of goods, when date of receipt of goods is May 12th. Then date of payment is entered in the recipient books, that is May 30. Date of amount created in the amount debited in the recipient bank, it is not given, just leave it that one. Then 31 days from the date of invoice, May 4th plus 31 days. Then I can read the answer. In case of reverse charge, the time of supply shall be the earlier of date of receipt of goods, date of payment is entered in the books of account of the recipient, date on which the payment is debited in his bank account, or 31 days from the date of invoice. Then I have mentioned the same in box. Date of receipt of goods May 12th, date of payment received is May 30th, 31st day from the date of invoice is May 4th plus 31 days, that is 4th June. Whichever is earlier, May 12th, May 30th, 4th June, whichever is earlier, May 12th is earlier. Therefore, time of supply shall be the May 12th. Next, another example. Determine the time of supply from the given information. May 4th, supplier invoices the goods taxable on reverse charge basis to Pillar & Company 30 days from the date of issuance. Invoice elapsed on 3rd June. June 12th, Pillar & Company received the goods, and July 3rd payment made for the goods. That means in case of supply of goods on reverse charge, the date of the time of supply shall be the date of receipt of goods, date of payment entered in the recipient books of accounts, date on which the amount has been debited in the recipient bank accounts, or 31 days from the date of invoice. These four. Here, date of payment, date on which the amount has been debited in the recipient bank account is not given. Therefore, that we can leave. Remaining three we have to read. We have to work out. Date of receipt of goods. Here, date of receipt of goods, that is June 12th. Date of payment receipt, July 3rd. And 31st day from the date of invoice is equal to May 3rd, May 4th plus 31 days is 4th June. Therefore, what is the earliest date? Earliest date is 4th June. Therefore, time of supply shall be the 4th June. Understand? Okay. Next. Acme Sales Limited sells food coupons to a company. The company gives these coupons to its employees as a part of the agreed perquisites. The coupons can be redeemed for the purpose of any item of food or provisions in the outlets that are part of program. That means Acme Sales Limited first purchase the food coupons, then give it to the employees as a part of their perquisites. The employees can purchase anything. Maybe in food or provision they can purchase anything. In such a case, the product is not identifiable at the time of issue of vouchers. It is a case of issue of vouchers and the product is not identifiable at the time of issue of vouchers. Then in such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of the redemption. In such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of redemption of such vouchers. I can read the answer. In case of vouchers, the time of supply shall be the date of issue of voucher if the supply of that is covers is identifiable at the point of time, or date of redemption of voucher in another case. Here the product is not identifiable, therefore time of supply shall be the date of redemption of voucher. As the supply against which coupon will be redeemed is not known as on the date of sale of the coupon, the time of supply of the coupon will be the date on which the employee redeem it against the food or provision item of his choice. Understand? Okay. Next. With each purchase of a large pizza during Christmas week from Perfect Pizza, one can buy a voucher for 20 which will be redeemed till 5th January for a small pizza. If any customer is purchasing large pizza, the Perfect Pizza is given an offer of 20 rupees for small pizza. That means if the product is identifiable or not, the product is identifiable. Once the product is identifiable, what is the time of supply in case of vouchers? In case of voucher, if the product is identifiable, the time of supply shall be the date of issue of voucher. I can read. As the supply against which the voucher will be redeemed is known on the date of issue of voucher, the time of supply is the date of issue of the voucher. Understand? Okay. Next. Radha Traders sold goods to Shyam Sales on 6th June with a condition that interest at the rate of 2% per month will be charged if Shyam Sales failed to make payment within 15 days of the delivery of goods. Goods were delivered as also the invoice was issued on 6th June. Okay. Invoice date and delivery date are the same, that is 6th June. Shyam Sales paid the sale consideration for the goods on 6th July. Actually 15 days time given, but he has made payment only after 1 month. That is on 6th July along with the applicable interest. He has paid the interest. The time of supply, here two issues are there. One is supply of goods. What is the time of supply? In supply of goods, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice or due date of invoice. Date of invoice is invoice date, what is it? 6th June. He's on the day he is issued the invoice, and due date of invoice, that is also 6th June. Therefore, time of supply in case of supply of goods, that is 6th June. Time of supply in case of interest. In case of interest, time of supply shall be the actual date of receipt of such amount. Here, when the amount received, Shyam Sales paid the sale consideration along with interest on 6th July. Therefore, date of the time of supply in case of interest shall be the actual date of receipt. Actual date of receipt is 6th July. Therefore, in case of interest penalty, in case of interest, the time of supply shall be the 6th July. Understand? I can read. Time of supply for the goods sold is the date of invoice, that is 6th June. And the time of supply for addition in value by way of interest is the date when such addition in value received by Radha Traders. Is here the Radha Traders is received on 6th July. The time of supply shall be the 6th July. Understand? Okay. Next. Yeah. Till now we have discussed section 12 of the CGST Act. That is time of supply in case of supply of goods. On what we have discussed? We have discussed time of supply in case of supply of goods under forward charge, under reverse charge, and in case of vouchers, in case of petty payments, and in case of value addition by way of maybe interest or penalty. This we have discussed. Now section 13 we are going to discuss. That is section 13 of the CGST Act, time of supply of services. What is the time of supply in case of supply of services? Then one by one we are going to discuss. First one, in case of forward charge, if the invoice is issued within due date, time of supply shall be the earliest of the following. In case of supply of service and the invoice is issued within the due date. If the invoice is issued within the due date, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice, the date of issue of invoice by the supplier, date on which the payment is entered in the books of accounts of the supplier, and the date on which the payment is created into his bank account. In case the supply of services made under forward charge and the invoice is issued within the due date. If the invoice is issued within the due date, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice, date of payment is entered in the books of accounts of the supplier, and date on which the amount has been created in the supplier's bank account. First case. And the second case, and it is also in case of supplier service, and it is a forward charge also, but and the invoice is not issued within the due date. If the invoice is issued within the due date, date of invoice. If the invoice is not issued within the due date, then the time of supply shall be the date of provision of service. And the remaining two are same. Date of receipt of payment in the books of accounts of the supplier, date on which the amount has been created in the supplier's bank account. In case of forward charge, and the invoice is issued within the due date, date of invoice, date on which the payment is entered in the books of accounts of the supplier, date on which the payment has been created in the bank account of the supplier. In case if the invoice is not issued within the due date, date of provision of service, date on which the payment is entered in the books of accounts of the supplier, date on which the payment is created in the bank account of the supplier. Then next one. Then if these two methods, the time of supply will be, if the two methods A and B are not applicable, if these two methods are not applicable, then the time of supply shall be the date on which the recipient shows such service in his books of account. These two methods are not applicable, then the time of supply shall be the data on which the recipient shows such service in his books of accounts. Understand? Then third concept, it is a reverse charge. It is a supply of services and it is a reverse charge. What is that one? What is the time of supply? What is the time of supply shall be the date of payment in the as entered in the books of accounts of the recipient, date on which the payment has been debited in the recipient books of account, and 61st day from the date of invoice. In case of supply of goods, one more addition is there. What is that one? Two differences are there. First, A and B common. In C's place, that is 31st day from the date of invoice, and one more point is date of receipt of goods. In case of forward charge, in case of supply of goods under reverse charge, what is the time of supply? Date of receipt of goods, date of payment entered in the books of accounts of the recipient, date on which the payment has been debited in the recipient books account, or 31st day from the date of invoice. But here, in case of supply of services under reverse charge, the time of supply shall be the date of payment entered in the books of accounts of the recipient, date on which the amount has been debited in the recipient books account, or 61 days instead of 31 days in supply of goods. Here for services it is a 61st day from the date of invoice. Then where it is not possible to determine the time of supply under reverse charge, the time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of supply. It is same as supply of goods under reverse charge also. That means if it is not possible to determine the time of supply under reverse charge, the time of supply shall be the date on which the recipient shows in his books of account. Recipient enters in his books of accounts such entry. Understand? Okay. In case of voucher, the same as supply of goods. I can read. Date of issue of vouchers if the supply covers identifiable at that point. Date of redemption of the voucher in other cases. Okay. It is same as supply of goods. That's why I have not put much attention. In case of petty payments, same as supply of goods. Then one more thing. Import of service from associated enterprises. For example, XYZ company located in India, they has one associated branch located in USA. This Indian company has taken any services from a associated enterprises. What is the time of supply? In such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the Indian company or date of payment made by Indian company. Understand? If the Indian company has mentioned such entry in the books of account, such date or date of entry made by the Indian company, whichever is earlier. I can read. Import of service from associated enterprises. The time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of supply or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Yeah, same. Next, interest, penalty, late fees, same as supply of goods. Okay. Next, residual cases. If it is not possible to determine the time of supply, then the time of supply shall be the due date for filing the periodical return, or in any other case the date on which the GST is paid, the same as supply of goods. Okay. Then time limit to issue invoice in case of supply service. This also I am not give much attention. Why? Because we have already discussed yesterday's class of tax invoice, debit notes, credit notes. Already this we have discussed. That's why I read for understanding. Time limit to issue invoice in case of supply of service. Taxable supply of service before or within 30 days from the date of supply of service. Insurer or banking company or a financial institution, including a non-banking financial company, before or within 45 days from the date of supply of service. Insurer or a banking company or a financial institutions, including a non-banking financial company or any other notified class of suppliers of services making taxable supplies between the distinct persons as specified in section 25, before or at the time such supplier records the same in his books of account or before the expire of the quarter during which such supply was made. Okay. In case of continuous supply of service, where the due date of payment is ascertainable from the contract, invoice shall be issued before due date of payment. Where the due date of payment is not ascertainable from the contract, invoice shall be issued before or at the time when the supplier of services receive the payment. When the payment is linked to the completion of event, invoice shall be issued on or before date of completion of event. Supply of services ceases under a contract before completion of the supply Invoice shall be issued at that time when the supply ceases, and such invoices shall be issued to the extent of such supply and made before such cessation. All these time to issue invoice we had discussed yesterday deeply. That's why we have not given much attention. Okay. Now we are going to do some example on section number 13 in case of supply of services. Time determination of time of supply in case of supply service. One by one we will determine the time of supply from the following particulars. 6th May, booking of convention hall, sum agreed 15,000, advance of 3,000 received. Okay. 15th September, function hall held in convention hall. Okay. 27th October, invoice issued for 15,000 indicating the balance of 12,000 payable. So in date of invoice is 27th October. 3rd November, balance payment of 12,000 received. It is a supply of services only. It is a forward charge only. In a forward charge, if the invoice is issued within the due date or not, first we have to ascertain. If the invoice is issued, then separate provisions are there. If the invoice is not issued within due date, separate provisions are there. Therefore, first we have to determine the due date of invoice, whether the invoice is issued within the due date or not. What is the due date of invoice? Due date of invoice means 15th September function hall held in a conventional. That means the service has completed on 15th September. When the time limit to issue invoice, here just you read, I can read again. Taxable supply of service before or within 30 days from the date of supply of service. That is the before or within 30 days from the date of supply of service. That means the service has completed on 15th September, invoice shall be issued within 30 days. That means 15th September plus 30 days, that is 15th October. Invoice shall be issued 15th October. When the invoice is issued? Invoice issued on 27th October. That means invoice is not issued 15th before 30 days. That is 15th September due date of invoice, but invoice is issued 27th October. That means invoice is issued beyond 30 days. Therefore, if the invoice is not issued within due date, then what is the time of supply? The time of supply shall be the date of provision of service or date of receipt for payment in the books of accounts of the supplier, date on which the amount has been credited in the supplier's bank account. It has not given here, so leave it that point. And fourth one is 61 days from the date of supply. First, I can read the answer first. It is a forward charge. Service is completed in 15th September. 15th September. Time limit to issue invoice is 15th October. But the invoice is issued on 27th October, which is beyond due date. Therefore, time of supply shall be the earlier of date of provision of service, date on which the payment is entered in the books of accounts of the supplier, date on which the payment is credited to his bank account. Very first 3,000 is received. So it is two cases. First 3,000 one cases and balance 12,000 one case. Total 15,000. One amount received is advance 3,000. 12,000 one amount is there. So in two cases we have to separately calculate. First for 3,000, what is the date of provision of services? Date of provision of services completed on 15th September only. But date of payment is, what is the date of payment? The date of payment is 6th May. And time of supply shall be the earlier of these two. Earlier, what is the earlier? 6th May. For balance 12,000, what is the date of provision of service? Date of provision of service, date of service completed is 15th September. But payment received 3rd November. So what is the due date? Earlier due date is 15th September. Therefore, time of supply shall be the 15th September for 12,000 rupees. Understand? For 3,000 rupees, the date of payment. For 12,000 rupees, date of provision of service. Why? Because date of provision of service, date of payment, whichever is earlier is the time of supply. Okay? Okay. Next. One more example. Investigation shows that ABC and company carried out service of cleaning and repair work of tanks in an apartment complex, for which the apartment owners association shows a payment in cash on 4th April to them against the work of his description. The date of work are not clear from the records of ABC and company. Okay, ABC and company have not issued the invoice or entered the payment in their books of account. So what is the time of supply? Because he has not issued invoice, date of invoice don't know. Then when the work is complete, that also due date of invoice also not known. Then third one, date of payment is entered in the supplier's bank account. Supplier bank account also, date of payment is entered in the supplier's books. That is also don't know. We know only one thing. That is, what is that one? The payment made by Apartment Owners Association on 4th April to them against the work done. So, in such a case, we don't know date of invoice, we don't know provision of service of completion of service, we don't know when the payment is received. When the payment is made only we know. In such a case, the payment made by Owners Association shall be considered as a time of supply. Understand? I can read the answer. The time of supply cannot be determined as neither the invoice has been issued nor the date of provision is available. As also the date of receipt of payment in the books of accounts of supplier is also not known. Date of invoice not known, due date of invoice is not known, and the date of receipt of the payment in the books of accounts of the supplier also not available. Therefore, time of supply will be the date on which the recipient of services shows the receipt of the services in his books of account. Thus, time of supply will be 4th April, the date on which the Apartment Owners Association records the receipt of service in his books of account. Understand? Okay. Next. One more example. A telephone company receives 5,000 against an advance of an invoice of 4,800. Determine the time of supply. Means excess amount received. That is petty payments. Any excess amount up to 1,000 rupees that shall be adjusted against future bills. We have already discussed again in case of petty payments. Answer: the excess amount of 200 can be adjusted against the next invoice because 4,800 only invoice, but the recipient has paid 5,200 excess paid. The 200 shall be adjusted against next invoice. The company has the option to take the date of next invoice as the time of supply of service in relation to the amount of 200 received in excess against the earlier invoice. Any excess amount up to 1,000 it shall be adjusted against future invoices. That is the answer. Then one more example, I think. Then determine the time of supply from the given information. Assume the service is being supplied is taxable under reverse charge. What is the time of supply of service under reverse charge? Date of receipt of goods. Sorry, for goods it is a service. Date of payment is entered in the books of accounts of the recipient. Date on which the payment has been debited in his recipient books account or 61st day from the date of invoice. Here May 4th the supply service issues invoice for service provided. Okay, there is a dispute about amount payable and the payment is delayed. Payment is delayed is irrelevant, but the supplier already issues invoice. Okay, and the payment made to the supplier. Only two elements is given. Date on which the payment debited in the recipient bank account not given, so leave that one. Only two. First is date of payment. Date of payment is 21st August and 61 days from the invoice. Invoice date is May 4th. 61 days from May 4th means in May month how many days left? 31 minus 4, 27. And June month 30. 30 plus May month 27. 30 plus 27, 57 plus 4 days of July is required. So the invoice shall be issued 4th July, but payment is received of August 21. Which date is earlier? July 4th is earlier. Therefore, time of supply shall be the 4th July. I am reading right now. It is a service under reverse charge. The time of supply in such cases in earliest of the date of payment as entered in the books of account of the recipient that has given, date on which the payment has been debited in his bank account that has not given in the problem, so leave that point, and 61st day from the date of invoice, from the date of issue of invoice where it is not possible to determine the time of supply. The time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient of supply. But here two dates we know. Date of payment August 21st. 61st day from the date of supply means May 4th plus 61 days. That is 4th July. Therefore, time of supply shall be 4th July. Understand? Okay. Next. One more example. The example is based on import of service from associated enterprises. In such a case, what is the time of supply? Date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient, date of payment, whichever is earlier. I can read the question. Determine the time of supply from the given information. May 4th, a German company issues email informing its associate company ABC Limited of the cost of services provided to it. That means associated company has mentioned such details, but Indian company has not mentioned that details. He is not entered in the books of accounts. Indian company has not entered in these books of accounts the services, so it is not relevant. Second, July 2nd, ABC Limited transferred the amount to the account of German company. Amount is transferred to the German company by ABC on July 2nd. First one is not given, second one is given. In case of importation of services from associated enterprises, the time of supply shall be the date of entry in the books of account of the recipient, not given. And second, date of payment made by the Indian company, that is ABC company. Transfer the amount on July 2nd. Therefore, time of supply shall be July 2nd, as the date of entry is not date of entry in the books of account of the recipient, not given. I can read the answer. German company is providing services to ABC Limited. It is a service received from associated enterprise. In such a case, time of supply shall be date of entry in the books of accounts of ABC Limited or the date of payment, whichever is earlier. Therefore, time of supply is July 2nd, as the date of entry in the books of accounts of the recipient is not given. Understand? Next. Then, Best Hospitality Services enters into an agreement with Drive Marketing Limited, by which Drive Marketing Limited markets Best Hospitality Services hotel rooms and sells coupons or vouchers redeemable at a discount against a stay in a hotel. That means it is a case of supply of service and relating to vouchers. In case of relating to vouchers, what is the time of supply? If the product is identifiable, the time of supply shall be the date of issue of vouchers. If the product is not identifiable, the time of supply shall be the date of redemption of vouchers. Here the product is identifiable. Yes, it is identifiable. It is identifiable means booking of room only. The product is clearly identifiable because the vouchers is for booking of hotel rooms. Once the product is identified, what is the date of time of supply? The time of supply shall be the date of issue of voucher. Therefore, in the given case, the time of the product is identifiable, the time of supply shall be the date of issue of voucher. I can read the answer. As the supply against the voucher will be redeemable is identifiable, the time of supply shall be the voucher will be the time of supply of the voucher will be the date of its issue. Okay. And one more important concept, section 12 we have discussed. Section 13 also we have discussed. Section 12 is supply of goods, determination of time of supply in case of supply of goods. And section 13 is determination of time of supply of services. Determination of time of supply in case of supply of services. Then section 14, change in rate of tax in respect of supply of goods or services. First, a small example I have discussed, then we'll go to the concept. Then, today I have supplied goods. Tomorrow there is a change in rate of tax. Tomorrow I have received the payment. Tomorrow I have issued the invoice. Then what is the rate I have to apply? Because today I have supplied the goods. I have issued invoices tomorrow. I have received the payment tomorrow. But there is change in rate of tax tomorrow. So what is the time of supply? And in second case also, today I have received the payment. Today I have issued invoices. There is a change in rate of tax tomorrow. And I have supplied goods tomorrow. What is the time of supply? These two cases we are going to discuss right now. Understand? Okay. First, where the goods or services supplied before change in rate of tax. Where I have supplied goods before change in rate of tax, what is the time of supply? Then first is invoice issued, payment received, time of supply. First, if the invoice I have supplied goods today and the invoice is issued after change and the payment is received after change. Two elements are after change. Please understand carefully. I have supplied goods today. There is change in rate of tax tomorrow. Then invoice is issued after change and the payment is received after change. Payment is received after change. In such a case, two elements are after. Invoice issued after and payment received after. Two elements are after only. In such a case, date of invoice shall be time of supply shall be the date of invoice or payment received, whichever is earlier. Two elements is after the supply shall be after only. The rate of tax shall be applicable shall be after. That means time of supply shall be after only. That means time of supply shall be date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. And second one, I have supplied goods or services today, and there is a change in rate of tax tomorrow, and invoice is issued before change, and payment is received after change. That means today I have supplied goods, and today only I have raised invoice. Today only I have invoice issued before change. Means today only I have issued the invoice. I have issued invoice today, and I have supplied goods today. Two elements are today before. That means two elements are before. In such a case, payment is received after also, then the time of supply shall be before, because two elements are before. The time of supply shall be the before the date of issue for invoice, that is before change. And third one, I have supplied goods and services today, there is a change in rate of tax tomorrow, and the invoice is issued after change tomorrow. That payment is received before. I have supplied goods before change, and my payment is received before change. Two elements are before. In such a case, before only it will apply. That means date of receipt of payment, that is before change. Understand? And second, where the goods are supplied, services supplied after change in rate of tax. Tomorrow there is a change in rate of tax. Tomorrow I have supplied goods, but invoice is issued before change, and payment is received before change. Invoice is today only I raised the invoice, today I received the payment, but goods only supplies tomorrow. In case what is the two elements are before only na? In such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice, date of payment, whichever is later. Second case, I have supplied goods tomorrow, but by invoice I have issued invoice before change, I have received payment after change. I have supplied goods tomorrow, that is after change, and my payment received also after change. Two elements are after only na. Therefore only after will apply. That means date of payment. Time of supply shall be the date of payment received. Okay. Then third one, I have supplied goods tomorrow, that is after change in rate of tax. Then my invoice is also after change. I have issued invoice after change. Two invoices, two elements are after. In such a case, the time of supply shall be the date of invoice only. If two elements are before you can take. If two elements are after, you can take after. Understand? Okay. One example I can do for better understanding. An interior decorator designs and renovates the office of the XYZ in June. Okay. The work has been completed in June. That means I have first I have read the problem. An interior decorator designs and renovates the office of XYZ in June. The invoice is to be raised after approval of work. In the meantime, the rate of change is changed in the rate of tax is changed on 5th July. Invoice is raised and payment made later in July. Okay. In such a case, I have supplied goods in June, but my invoice is, I have raised invoice tomorrow, and my payment is received tomorrow. But my goods is only, and two items are after only na. In such a case, two are after. In such a case, date of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier, therefore increased rate will apply. New rates will apply. I can read the answer. Here the time of supply is that after change in rate of tax. Though services was completed prior to that, even my services completed before, my invoice raised tomorrow, my payment received tomorrow, therefore new rates will apply. That is the answer. One more answer is there, I can read. Vulcan Tools Private Limited makes custom made precision tools for which it takes full advance with purchase order. One such order is received on 13th April and full amount is paid with the order. That means, I can read the answer first. The tools are manufactured and delivered on 22nd May. Invoice is also issued on the same day. That means goods delivered and invoice issued on 22nd May only. In the meanwhile, the rate of tax was increased on the tools of this description from 20th. Because, that means the rate has been changed on 20th, but my invoice raised and my goods delivered is after. Two elements are after. Understand? I have received payment to before, because I have received full amount against the purchase order which is on April. I have received full amount, but my payment, my invoice is after 22nd, and my goods delivered after 22nd. Two elements are after only na. In such a case, new rates will apply. I can read the answer. Here, increased rate of tax will be applicable as the goods are supplied and the invoice is issued after 28th, because two elements, once is goods supplied and invoice is issued, is true or after change in rate of tax. Therefore, after rates will apply. Increased rate of tax will apply. Understand? Okay. Date of crediting of bank account payment in bank account is to be the date of receipt of payment if such crediting takes place after 4 working days of change in rate of tax. For better understanding, first I give some example. Today I have received the check of 1 lakh. Today's first day. I have deposited on 5th itself. The check is cleared on for 10th itself. That means today I have received check. After 5 days only I have deposited, but the check is cleared after 5 days. In such a case, what is the time of supply? The time of supply shall be only after clearance of such check. That is on 10th only, because I have received today. On 5th I have deposited. On 10th it is cleared. My date of receipt shall be 10th only. Because not on because if the new rates applicable na, new rates applicable for that purpose, the date of receipt of payment only on date of credit of bank account. Understand? I can read the example for better understanding. Rate of tax is changed on 10th July. Okay. Receipt of payment is recorded in the books of account on the supplier 8th July. I have received today, but the payment is created in the supplier's bank account on 15th July. That means 8 after 4 working days. The payment is created in the supplier's bank account on 15th July. I have received 8th, but only on 15th only it has been created. The bank will open on all working days, 10th to 15th. 10 to 15 it has opened. Rate of tax has been changed already, 10th. But I have, because for evasion of tax, for reducing my tax, even the check is not received today. I mentioned in my books it is received today. But when the check has been cleared on 15th. In such a case, the date of receipt of payment is only on 15th. Even though I have mentioned the date of entry in my books of account is 8th, the date of credit, when the date of credit happened in bank, on 15th July only it has been credited in my bank account. In such a case, new rates will apply. Therefore, the time of supply, the date of receipt of payment is on the date of credit of my bank account, that is 15th July. Understand? I think you enjoyed the chapter. There ends today. Tomorrow will continue. Thank you.